And US President Donald Trump has once again voiced optimism that there is a real chance to end the war in Gaza.
Well, indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas negotiators, they are being held in the Egyptian resort town of el-Sheikh based on a 20-point peace plan proposed by Trump to end the war. Trump told reporters at the Oval Office that the US would do everything possible to make sure everyone adheres to the deal if Hamas and Israel do agree on a ceasefire.
I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation. We want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan.
Yep.
Now, during indirect talks with Israel, Hamas's top negotiator Khalil al-Hayya said that his group wants guarantees from Trump and the sponsor countries that the war will end once and for all. He said that Hamas does not trust the occupation, not even for a second, referring to Israel, of course.
Meanwhile, Egyptian state-linked media Al Qaeda News reported that talks have begun on the lists of Palestinian prisoners to be freed by Israel in exchange for the hostages under a potential ceasefire deal.
Marwan Bargouti, a leading member of the Palestinian Fatah party who is imprisoned since 2002, is among several high-profile detainees whose release is being sought by Hamas. Now, other names mentioned include Ahmad Sadat, Hassan Salameh and Abbas al-Sayed.
Meanwhile, Qatar's foreign ministry said that Prime Minister Abdul Rahman Al Thani will also be attending these ongoing peace talks on Wednesday. In a post on social media, the ministry said that Al Thani's participation in this meeting, it comes at a critical stage of the talks, reaffirming the determination of the mediators to reach an agreement that would bring an end to the war in the Gaza Strip. All right, to discuss this further, we're now being joined live by Edward P. Joseph. He's joining us from Washington, D.C. He's a lecturer at the Johns Hopkins University and a foreign policy analyst. Edward, thanks so much for joining us here, Mr. Joseph. And, as far as the peace deal is concerned, we've seen, do you find there's more intent and ambition and perhaps enthusiasm this time to finally reach that deal? Or is this just another one of those that have fallen apart in the past? How close are we to a real deal?
Well, first, of course, we have to acknowledge this very somber second anniversary of the October 7th horrific attacks launched by Hamas that, of course, launched this terrible war, which has seen so many Palestinians killed after the slaughter perpetrated by Hamas on Israelis, on innocent Israelis, and ironically, many Israelis who had worked very hard for peace. Many of those who lived in these kibbutzim that were near the, very close to Gaza, were among those who'd worked hard for peace and wanted very much for there to be harmonious relations with Palestinians. So first we have to mark this very somber anniversary. And I would say, yes, we do have reason to be cautiously optimistic about the breakthrough and about this 20-point plan that is been proposed by President Trump, not just because of the plan itself and the support, the fact that there are details that it contains these thoughtful positions, but the widespread support, as your report indicated. UN Secretary General Guterres is among those who've supported this. So we see in many countries, of course, Trump exaggerated saying every country in the world, but what's true is that many countries have, including countries in the Middle East, critically, that have communication with Hamas, have supported this and have told Hamas, look, you need to take this deal and end the war. So, and of course, Israel has accepted. Prime Minister Netanyahu has embraced the Trump proposal. So that's, I would say, yes, this is serious, and we should hope that this terrible war will come to an end soon. Please.
Of course, Mr. Joseph, and that's an important point. But then again, optimism is a driver and also a delusion in these conflicts, which brings us to what Hamas is itself demanding. Hamas has now linked the release of Israeli hostages to the withdrawal of Israeli occupation and is seeking guarantees from Trump and other mediators. Now, having said that, how might these contingencies actually affect the progress of the Gaza war?
Well, first, of course, you're absolutely right to say that we should not be too optimistic, and I used the adjective cautious
Of course.
there. Caution must be we must be cautious when it comes to this, but we can be encouraged. The fact that there is momentum and there's widespread support for the peace plan, and the point that you make about Hamas's position, this is what's critical to know, is there doesn't seem to be a clear and coherent Hamas position. So you cite a position there that they're conditioning release on hostages. There are other reports that have said that they're willing to release the hostages, but they're not willing to give up their weapons. So we have, and there are other reports that there are divisions within the group, that the divisions within Hamas, leadership that is inside Gaza, leadership that is outside of Gaza, that is more inclined to take the deal. So we don't know. We can't be too specific.
Understood.
What we can be concerned about is the fact that after so many deaths of so many Palestinians, let alone the Israelis killed on October 7th, that we see Hamas celebrating October 7th and calling it a glorious crossing. Here, 2 years later, after so many Palestinians have been killed,
I hear your point.
to celebrate is really something unconscionable. Please.
I hear your point, Mr. Joseph. Very quickly, I just wanted to also get your thoughts on this. The guarantees that Hamas is expecting from the US and the sponsor countries, what kind of guarantees can anybody offer to Hamas at this point? And if they don't offer these guarantees, does it throw this deal off track?
I think they can offer guarantees, absolutely. And we have to remember that there have been, the ceasefires that have been called so far have been successful. So you had a ceasefire at the end of 2023 that President Biden negotiated, and Hamas broke that ceasefire. Then you had the ceasefire earlier this year that it was proposed by President Biden, but it was really President Trump's intervention that got Prime Minister Netanyahu to accept it, and it lasted 2 months, 2 full months. And then Israel did not continue that ceasefire. So each side has, I would say, each side has a basis to
So we can remain cautiously optimistic. I'll go back to the adjective you used earlier. I guess that's where we need to be at this point. But there seems to be more intent to get it, because there is a lot of cohesion when it comes to the West Asian countries putting pressure on Hamas as well at this point. But let's hope the cautious optimism can be without the caution soon enough. Thanks so much.
Exactly.
Yes, thanks so much. That was Edward P. Joseph joining us from Washington, D.C. Yes.